Health and Fitness with David Hollywood.
Hello and welcome to this week's programme. Let's get you a preview of what's coming up in the next hour or so. You'll meet the TUS Athlone student who's been driving their campaign to get people off cigarettes and vapes on campus. It's International Women's Day tomorrow, Saturday, March 8th. You're going to hear about the Westmeath fitness instructor who's pumping iron and spinning up in the gym for women in need. And the Irish Cancer Society is on with us to talk about how to reduce your risk of cancer and to give you tips on how to improve our early detection rates. That's all part of the Your Health Matters Roadshow next week. Last week, we had Gary Stack from TUS Athlone on with us talking about National No Smoking Day, what the guys in TUS were doing about it. And they were also celebrating Green Week, and it was really fantastic conversation we had. And we actually wanted to talk more about what the students were doing, because this whole initiative that they took on Tuesday of this week, so we're a couple of days after it. Wednesday was Ash Wednesday and No Smoking Day nationally. They were very busy on campus, the students in the BSc Pharmacy technician course in TUS Athlone, working away, trying to encourage people to pack in vaping and pack in smoking. I'm very glad to say that one of those students has joined us along with Gary Stack and returned to Health and Fitness to chat about the event. Anne-Marie Carmody and Gary are both on the line. Guys, you've been great to join us. Much appreciated. How's it going?
Good, thank you. And thank you for having me.
Not at
Thanks,
all.
David.
Anne-Marie, I'll start with yourself. Talk us through what was going on campus on Tuesday from your perspective.
Oh, there was a great buzz about the campus. It was the Green Campus Week, and we hosted an event to stop smoking and stop vaping, a smoking and vaping cessation event. And we had two lovely ladies with us from the HSE, and it was great to have their support there. And there was loads of engaging activities. There was guess the vape in the jar. There was a bike to see how quick you could cycle in 500 metres. So that was great draw and very engaging. And there was competitions and a lot of prizes as well. So I was involved in promoting the event, myself and some of the other girls. So I went about the campus and just let people know.
Did that involve going up to strangers and basically lobbying them to engage with this campaign?
Well, not lobbying them, but just talking to them and letting them know that there's a bit of buzz going on in the main campus, and if they'd like to take part in it, So a lot of people did come in, and we all took different turns then manning the stand, and I was there at 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock, and there's a group of French lads that came over. They were on an exchange, and we were just talking to them, and one of the guys, he actually was the joint leader. He got 39 seconds in 500 metres, so it's great accomplishment, so it was. And there was another guy that got it as well, so... Was there
a lot of enthusiasm about this static bike race then? It sounds like it may have been the centre of attention.
Yeah. And one of the lecturers took part in it as well.
One of the lecturers. So by the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like Gary did it then, did he not?
No. I was injured.
Gary.
Unfortunately, now I was taken out before I got the chance.
We'll start calling you sick note then.
Not probably moving the bike, are you?
Yeah, I think that was my part done for the day, getting the big bike over.
You were integral in this event as well.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. Look, we we know Gary was deeply involved in it, so I'll stop badgering him on that front. Anne-Marie, from your own perspective, then, the events, they sounded fun and it was a positive way to engage with the idea of giving up smoking.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you made substantial headway or genuine headway when speaking to any smokers on the day?
I think so, because there were a lot of students around, and there was a QR code to sign up to if they wanted to go further in their smoking cessation journey,
Yeah.
all the support's available in the area. And even if they weren't ready, they now know where to go for the support available to them. And like there was a surrender your vape basket there as well. But I think we only got one vape, but one vape still is a big difference. Like, that one person could tell someone else and, have an effect on other students and they see how well they're doing. And like there was a calculator as well on how much you spend on cigarettes and vaping, like, and the results were staggering. Like, people didn't realize how much they were spending on smoking and vaping.
How much
really
would they have been spending over the course of a year? Was it a kind of a 12-month calculation? What's the ballpark figures?
I'd say around €2,000 at least people were spending on cigarettes,
Yeah. When you put it like that, it's the difference between a holiday and not. A very nice holiday at that.
Exactly. And even what this event was about as well, it wasn't just the effects of smoking on the individual person, it was the effects on the environment. I mean, it was a real eye-opener for me, that the vapes, they're just, the amount of waste produced from them and the detriment to the environment is unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's good that this was folded in with Green Week on the campus, along with the National No Smoking campaign. Again, Anne-Marie, as you were doing this, what did you learn along the way yourself? Obviously, there's elements there where maybe you jump out of your comfort zone in this project. You're working with other people. You're trying to get other people to engage with it. And obviously, there's this the scientific or the pharmacy element of the subject matter that you're talking about. But what were the things you'll take away from it when you look back on it?
Well, when we were doing the research for the project, one thing that alarmed me was how easy young people were led to take up vaping, like how glamorized it was in the media by the big smoking companies and, the people that push these e-cigarettes. How they become addicted to it. It's quite scary, And another myth as well is that stress, smoking relieves stress, which in fact it does cause depression, because when you get that dopamine high from smoking or vaping, there's a come down then, and that part is never publicized. So that was quite alarming as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this event was very important to me because I have a 9-year-old daughter, and the thoughts of her taking up smoking and vaping and how easy it's accessible to children of all ages now, it's just scary to me, and it would break my heart if she ever took up that habit.
Yeah.
But
I think
at least I know if she was to take up that habit, the support's available. There was some very interesting literature on the day on how to give up smoking and vaping, and specifically how to give up e-cigarettes, because we don't know the damage that e-cigarettes are doing and vaping is doing to people. So it's harder to treat that, but at least we know how to go about it now.
Yeah.
Through the literature and talking to the girls from the HSE.
You've made a huge number of really important points. One I'm going to jump straight back to before I forget it is that you may have only got one vape dropped in the jar, but you made a great point in that, like, if that was one person who gave up vaping for the whole day's work, it is 100% justified. And that person then becomes a role model for anyone around them who smokes or vapes, who's thinking about giving it up, because they know that they can do. Gary, Anne-Marie mentioned there about how vaping has reopened the door for tobacco companies to market and make themselves attractive to younger people. And not to age you, because I'm just guessing by our video calls, but I suspect you still remember the time when smoking was considered cool by young people. We then got past that, and it felt like the general population had totally divorced themselves from the attraction of the idea of smoking. It's kind of mind-blowing to think that with vaping, we found ourselves back in the same place, and depending on what the research produces in future, it could be a worse place.
Yeah, I think it's an excellent point, really well made by Anne-Marie, and you're bang on, David. It's something that we discussed actually with the two ladies from the HSE Health Promotion Unit on the day. we got into quite a discussion about it, because I think what we found was most of the people who interacted with us were actually vaping rather than smoking. And there's a whole debate around that at the moment. There's even some healthcare professionals that seem to be kind of suggesting that, look, it's better that they're not smoking. Maybe it's a tool that we should use and lever people onto vaping. But exactly as you quite correctly say, David, we don't know what the long-term effects of vaping are. These products they're not regulated medicinal products. We don't know what's in them. And as a result of that, we don't know what the potential long-term effects of them may be. However, I think what's even more worrying for me, again, what you led with, that they're a gateway back into nicotine addiction. That's very much true, because again, it's the nicotine in cigarettes that makes them addictive in the first place. And vapes contain just as much, if not more, nicotine in them. And even more worrying is statistics from research that's continuing at the moment that suggests that if you pick up vaping, you're approximately 5 times more likely to go on and smoke cigarettes. So, any potential benefit is completely nullified. Any suggestion that they might be less harmful is irrelevant if they're opening up the gateway to people moving on and smoking cigarettes, because we know that cigarettes are linked with lung cancer, cardiovascular disease, and a whole host of other illnesses. That's well established as this fact.
When we come back, Gary and Anne-Marie are going to tell us about the importance of education and graduating from university with that human touch.
Health and Fitness with David Hollywoods on Midlands 103.
Welcome back. Student Anne-Marie Carmody and lecturer Gary Stack have been telling us all about their TUSAThlone campaign to help people give up smoking and vaping. I wanted them to tell you about the importance of their work as pharmacists in communicating with us to help guide us to make healthier decisions. Here's Gary on this first.
I think from every perspective, like traditionally when we would have been talking about designing our programs for pharmacy technicians, in particular when we're talking about advanced pharmacy technicians like our BSc students, there's an awful lot of emphasis on health promotion, because if you can prevent people from having ill health, progressing in the diseases that they might have, well then, all of the medicines are potentially saved. And as we spoke about last week, like no conversation with a patient about their health and their medicines is complete without factoring in their lifestyle. There's no point in loading them with lots of medicines for blood pressure and heart disease, and then ignoring the elephant in the room, which might be their smoking status. But I suppose in the last number of years, I've made a big effort to try and connect that with the environmental impact as well, because the carbon impact of ill health is enormous, and health promotion is one of the biggest interventions that we can make. We can stop people getting sick. They don't need the medicines, they don't need the hospital stays, they don't need the ICU bed days, and therefore all of the carbon impact of all of those resources is saved as well. So we've put an awful lot of effort into it and a lot of theory in relation to health promotion in place in the programme. And I was very pleased to see the students getting the opportunity to put all of that theory into practice on Tuesday. It was fantastic for me to see them growing in confidence with these kind of interactions with people. Do you smoke? Do you vape? Do you want to consider stopping? Here's the calculator, this is how much you spend. You know what I mean? And that progression. And I suppose just to say that, like, the Vape in Surrender initiative, that was kind of like for anybody who was ready to stop right then and there. Sure. And I don't think we massively expected to get hundreds of people thrown in the vapes and say, that's me done. But exactly as Anne-Marie said, like lots of people discussed their status with us, took information, took details on the supports available, and signed up the QR code to see more information about the face-to-face stop smoking support service offered by our colleagues Darina Hart and Catherine Carraher in the HSE Health Promotion Unit. And they have that information, as Anne-Marie says, and when they're ready now, you will hope that some of them will go on, take that next step, get the support, get the nicotine replacement, and then stop.
Yeah, really interesting about that sort of virtuous circle that kicks in. If you can make better health outcomes, you can reduce the carbon footprint, which you don't go from A to B, but really there is a link there. It's really fascinating. Anne-Marie, from your perspective then, what is it about this BSc course that you're enjoying? And if you can maybe follow up on the question I asked Gary about actually talking to people and trying to improve their health, what that means to you as an individual.
Well, I am absolutely loving the clinical aspect of the course. Both Claire and Gary have taught us those modules. Like, it's great being able to push into place the drugs we've learned about, what conditions they're meant to heal, to work with. I'm doing a placement now at the moment in Portugalonga Hospital, and it's great being able to, when you're charging out the drugs to the wards and the patients, that you know what these drugs are treating and what they're for, and any drug interactions as well. And health promotion, it's great to learn about health promotion. I actually gave a presentation on health promotion in the pharmacy. It was one of my objectives in Portugalonga Hospital. I gave a health promotion, and I got a lot of support from Catherine and Dorina to put that presentation together.
Okay.
You know, so the pharmacists were delighted that I was able to do that as well, you know.
Yeah, it seems like a really important
particularly
skill.
on the day, it gave me the confidence to approach people in a non-judgment way, just opening a conversation, you know, and just letting them know that it's not just a one-day event. You'll get support for life in your smoking cessation and vaping cessation journey. You know, it's not just a fad. And when you're ready to, you can decide on what journey you want to take, you know.
There's obviously what you've described there, Anne-Marie, is like there's soft skills in the work that you're learning how to do on a human level. It's not about saying you have to stop this because it's bad for you. It's about getting to know the person in front of you just a little bit so that you can see eye to eye, I guess.
Yeah. And what we learned in health promotion, it wasn't just about giving up smoking. It was everything, you know, and you ask them leading questions, open questions, you know, you have a conversation with them, you don't judge them, and you don't leave them hanging. You signpost to what follow-ups they can take to achieve their goals, you know. You'd give up smoking, give up alcohol, whatever their needs are, you know, and everyone has individual needs and not everyone has the same circumstances. So, you know, you just can't judge anyone, you know, and that's what we learned, how to help people in a non-judgmental way, you know, which is great.
It is great. What brought you to this world of being a pharmacy technician? Like, what was the thing that motivated you to look at this course or the previous pharmacy technician course that you qualified through? Why this kind of work?
It was a major career change for me. I found myself just looking for a career change. I wanted a new start in life, and I wanted to do something to help people, you know. And I found this course and it just fitted right in. And plus the lecturers and the support we have from our lecturers and staff in there is unbelievable. You know, like, I'm a single mom with a 9-year-old, so I have my challenges, you know. But and I actually had to repeat second year because I was very sick with COVID. But I'm so proud of myself repeating second year and going on to do the degree. And it's a very rewarding course, you know, and you get to meet great people and lecturers, and doing your placement is a fantastic opportunity as well.
It strikes me that having gone through the journey that you've described there, your progress and your fulfillment is giving you more, you're more appreciative of it because you've got a bit of perspective, having lived a bit more than, say, the prototypical student or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And I'm delighted to be able to do this course. And, you know, I even took part in 2 of the open days recruiting future pharmacy technicians. And my little girl came along last year, you know.
That's amazing.
And she had a ball.
That's class. Gary, what about from your perspective, to hear Anne-Marie's account of her experience through education in the fields that you're teaching? I imagine as a lecturer, like, you live for that stuff. That's what gives you drive in the education sector.
I think that's exactly it. The world of healthcare, it can be extremely rewarding, and I think pharmacy is a lovely sector in particular to work in. And we're delighted to have Anne Marie and all her classmates and past students from all sorts of circumstances. And I think that's what's fantastic about, I suppose, our programs here in Tussat Loan, that we provide an opportunity for education for people locally. Right on your doorstep, you have world-class educational provision, which is fantastic. And I think, the improvements that we've made in access to education for people, at different stages of their life, I think has made a massive difference because it's very hard to know what you want to do for the rest of your life at 17. It's very hard for people in different circumstances, like it's fantastic that you have the opportunity to change tactics. And I think I would always say that, nobody should ever feel stuck in whatever profession they might be on. There's always options. There's always another program, a different direction that you can take. And it's fantastic to hear Anne Marie's account. I didn't pay her for this now. I didn't coach her at all.
I was wondering.
These are all her own words now, in case there's any. No, exactly. But it's fantastic to hear, and very much appreciated.
Coming up next, we're going to meet the woman pumping iron and spinning in the gym for women in need on International Women's Day.
Health and Fitness with David Hollywoods on Midlands 103.
International Women's Day is literally around the corner, and on Health and Fitness we are very much spending this week's episode celebrating women. In that vein and in that spirit, I'm very glad to introduce to you Laura Daly-Devine. Laura's raising much needed funds and support for the Westmeath Support Service against domestic abuse. She's looking to spread awareness of the service, and she's going about it, I think, in a really fantastic way, in a way that us on Health and Fitness, we couldn't resist getting her on, and she joins us this evening. Laura, firstly, a big congratulations on taking on this challenge of raising important money on what is a massively important day as well. Talk us through the fundraiser, what's going on over the course of tomorrow.
Hi David, thanks a million for having me on. I heard about International Women's Day and I said, God, I'd love to do something. I always like challenging the clients that come to the studio, and they're always saying, will you do this or do this? So I thought this was the perfect day to get the women doing something. So I just came up with, we'll do an hour of body pump, which is a weights class, starting at 10 o'clock on Saturday morning. And then I'm going to put on a double spin class from about 11:05 until 12:30. I've invited the women just to participate anyway at all. There's about 2 of us, maybe 3, that are going to do the whole 2.5 hours, and others are going to do maybe just the weight class. Some are doing the 2 spin classes, others are doing 1 of each, and it's just about participating and doing something on a day when, just to prove that women can do so much, and we have done so much. I said I'd put the proceeds and the takings of that day to a charity, and not knowing an awful lot of women's charities in Mullingar, I had asked some of the ladies in class for suggestions, and one of the girls had mentioned that there is a domestic support against abuse, in Mullingar, and I thought, oh God, I never heard of that, so maybe I'm not the only one in town that didn't know that we have that service in Mullingar. So I checked out their website and it's all volunteers. So I said, right, that's the one I'm going to pick, because apart from even the money, the awareness of having that service in Mullingar, I'm sure, is very important to people that are in that situation and don't know where to turn to for help. So if by me doing the fundraiser on Saturday, and people might just be scrolling through Facebook or Instagram and see who I'm doing it for, and need it, there's the link, I can get help there, or there's the phone number that Laura shared, or whatever the case may be. So yeah, it's definitely awareness for the Westmeath Support Services against domestic abuse, apart from hopefully I'll get a couple of £100 together for them for whatever they need money for, to help women and children in this situation.
I think that's fantastic, Laura. Worth mentioning that it's Divine Fitness in Mullingar, so beyond tomorrow's classes, and please do tip down if indeed you want to help. Divine Fitness in Mullingar, somewhere to check out if you're thinking of getting back into the gym. Talk us through then stuff like Body Pump and Body Cycle. What are we talking about when we talk about these particular sessions you're doing for International Women's Day?
Okay, well, Body Pump, I am qualified with Les Mills, who is an international company. I'm the only woman, I think, in town. I think there is another instructor in one of the other gyms, but I don't think he's teaching it. So if you're looking for the real Body Pump, it's myself you'd be looking for. It's an hour-long class, getting every muscle group. We don't use very heavy weights. Some women are scared of, I don't want to be going in with all them big heavy weights. It's not that type of class. It's light weights with lots of reps. The songs are about 5 minutes long. It's all choreographed to music. So each song is about 5 minutes long, which means you're going to be squatting for about 5 minutes to different tempos of the music. People love it. If it's a song they know and they can, I'm singing in my head. It's getting me through. It's getting me through the pain. So you're getting over 100 reps probably per muscle group. Lots. You don't need to be going heavy when you're getting that many reps in. So it's suitable for all ages and fitness levels. I have all ages and fitness levels in class, so I do. From teenagers to I've women in their early 70s, so I have. So,
fantastic.
Yeah. The Body Cycle classes, it's a spin class. Again, I love music, so all my classes are choreographed to music. I'm thinking, what do you mean choreographed music on a bike? I'm sure there's other places do it. I've only ever done this type of spinning, so I have. We do moves, upper body moves, like moving our arms as if we were running, like push-ups, just a little bit of a hinge in the hips just to get the upper body moving. It just ups the cardio that extra little bit. And again, it's like it is to the music as well, so it is. So the faster the song, the faster you're going to go.
Wow. And obviously if you're driving pedals but moving your upper body, that core is getting a good bit of extra workout.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and it's optional. I mean, if you're getting tired, you don't have to keep going. But the more you do of anything, the better you get at it.
Yeah, 100%. Let's bring things back to International Women's Day and focus specifically on the service you provide, because it's one of the things I come across a lot in terms of presenting this health and fitness show, in terms of being with a long-term partner who's a woman. Exercise for women is a very tricky area when it comes to feeling safe and secure. It must be, from your perspective, a really enjoyable aspect of your business to be able to provide that space for women to come in and get themselves feeling strong and feeling healthier.
Absolutely. I always try to be fit, so I've had surgery on my back when I was in my late 20s, so that's why I try to keep as active as I can. And when I tell people then that I actually have 6 screws and 2 rods in my lower back,
wow,
they're looking at me, what? And why are you doing this? And I said, well, I do all this exercise because if I don't, I can feel the stiffness coming back into my back and all this. I'm a mum I've had 5 children. I have 4 now. Our 4th baby unfortunately passed away. So even the mental health benefits of exercise, I can totally understand that as well. So I feel like I know where mammies and women are coming from between bad backs. My own mother has had 2 hip operations, so when I hear people complaining of the hips, I'm conscious of trying to even strengthen women's bodies as we get older. And I know knee pain, and then I've other women that are coming into me. They might have had cancer before, any type. I've had loads in with all different types of cancer, and they're back exercising again. And it's very scary. You know, there's women that have come in and said that have had breast cancer, and I don't know if I'll be able to lift because of, my arm is so close to where the surgery was and all this. Obviously, everybody is different. You don't know what the woman beside you is going through at home, or whatever way she's feeling, or what is her ailment is.
Yeah.
So don't try to compare yourself to her. everybody, this is your journey and your fitness journey.
Yeah.
And I say that, and there's some women that it's the fear of even going in. I presume, I kind of think of it like, it's probably like starting a new job, walking into a new place, exercising where everybody else, they all know each other. And I'm kind of scared to go in. But all the ladies that come to me say, oh God, the atmosphere here, Laura, it's so easy going, but we still walk out in a ball of sweat with a big red face on us. And I said, yeah, well, this is it. I try to have the fun element, whether they're laughing at me or with me, I don't know. But I try to make it, I try to have the crack with the women. And, we work really hard. We are walking out with a big red face on us and the sweat is bubbling. And they say to me, like last week, one of the girls, we were stretching, she says, I can't believe I got to touch my toes. I didn't think I could ever do that.
Amazing.
So the more you do of anything, as I said earlier on, the more you do, the better you'll get at it. We will get more flexible, and that's definitely what's needed. Like I said, I do have my own back issues, which is always in my head, in the back of my mind. And then when my mum had her 2 hip operations, it's like she retired from work and next thing she started to fall apart. So she did. And it's so important to keep moving as you get older. And I have all age groups, as I said. I'm delighted to see people in their 70s coming in and exercising, because you shouldn't, I shouldn't be, I can't do that at my age. Yes, you can.
100%.
We all see these videos on Instagram of this woman, I only started at 75 and now I'm 83 and I'm doing big, heavy Olympic lifting kind of thing. It's like, why can't you just because you're getting older? You should. We need to do it to strengthen our bones.
Yeah, and the more we learn about the human body, the more we learn that the sooner you do, as you kind of described with your body pump class, lightweight, high frequency reps to get that muscular skeletal strength into you.
Yes, exactly.
The healthier you'll be as you get older. Laura,
definitely. It'll stand to you completely, yeah. I'm even going to go now, I'm after talking about my mother. We'll go another generation.
Go on.
My grandmother, who's 96.
Wow.
And she always cycled everywhere, so she did. Same with my granddad. They were on the bikes all the time, and I just think it really stood to them, so it did. It kept them young, so it did, yeah.
Well, look, my mother's getting into a decent age and she's on the exercise bike doing 15k every morning. It's a routine she's gotten sorted. It's unbelievable. But you can see now, look, anyone listening who thinks that they're going to maybe engage, be it tomorrow on International Women's Day or at some stage down the line, you don't get the payoff in the first couple of weeks. But if you stick at it, you start feeling confident in your body and the payoff is fantastic. Laura,
definitely,
you've been great with your time, and I really appreciate you open up about your personal motivations behind what you're doing with Divine Fitness in Mullingar. I presume even if people are listening to this on a Friday evening, the night before the Stubble class, you're welcoming people down to the gym right up until the last minute.
Yeah, I still have a few spaces left.
A few spaces, okay.
A few spaces left. And like I said, it's just about participating. If there was a bike there and you just wanted to hop up on it for 15 minutes, just say, I took part and look what I done. That would be perfect, If the bike is, if there's the space there. I will have like a bucket just for if anybody wants to throw in a few pounds.
That's what I was going to say. The main thing here is to donate to Westmeath Support Service Against Domestic Abuse.
Yeah, so far actually I can't get over the amount of donations that have come in. I told people they could just Revolut the money to me and just mark it charity on my Revolut account. It's just the same as my mobile number. So the donations that are coming in, and not even just from people. There's friends of the clients that are given to them, and then they're sending it on to me as well. So. Yeah, it's brilliant. I'm so delighted with the money that's coming in so far. I really hope I can get a good amount of money for them.
Come here. You're doing great stuff. If anyone does want to inquire, how do they look you up online? I know you've got a Facebook page with all the details.
I do. I have a Facebook page. You can look up, it's Divine Fitness on Facebook, or Laura Daly Divine on Facebook, or on Instagram, it's Laura's Divine Fitness.
Okay, perfect. All the details are
yeah.
there. You've been listening to Mullingar's Laura Daly Devine from Divine Fitness in Mullingar. Fantastic initiative. The very best of luck with all of the activity tomorrow, and the best of luck with Divine Fitness going forward. You and I will catch up down the line maybe and have another chat about getting fit.
Lovely. Thanks very much.
The Irish Cancer Society is on with us next to talk about their campaign to help you stay cancer-free.
Health and Fitness with David Hollywoods on Midlands 103.
Welcome back. Our reporter Jack Irwin has sat down with Sarah Egan. She's a cancer awareness nurse, and she's on with us this evening to tell us all about the events the Irish Cancer Society has on across the Midlands as part of the Your Health Matters Roadshow. Here's the details.
The Your Health Matters Roadshow has been happening for about the last 4 years or so within the Irish Cancer Society. We travel around the country as a team. The team is the Cancer Awareness Team, and the idea is that we're trying to encourage people to reduce their risk of cancer, I suppose, and to improve early detection rates of cancer. That's kind of the background and the priority of the roadshow. And it's one of the Irish Cancer Society's strategies for the last few years is to catch cancer early. It's one of the best ways to increase the odds of surviving cancer. So what the roadshow offers is we are a team of nurses. We travel around to mostly shopping centres all around the country. We do try and find the most places with kind of, I suppose, disadvantaged or where people wouldn't be attending their GP visits as often, or maybe there's access issues, these kind of things. But we do try and cover the whole country as well. And so what we do is we promote kind of healthy lifestyle changes. We increase awareness of cancer symptoms for people. If somebody has any concerns or worries, we're talking them through that and encouraging them to go and see their doctor, and trying to address any barriers and fears. So how that works is we have an information stand there. There's loads of educational props. There's lots of information leaflets about all different types of cancers and ways to stay healthy and reduce your risk and what to do if you spot any early signs, these kind of things. And then we can also avail of kind of coming into, there's 2 private booths that we have available, so that if somebody wants to ask something specific or wants to have a confidential conversation, they can come in and have a one-to-one conversation with a cancer nurse in behind one of the booths. They're around kind of roughly about 15 minutes, depending on the conversation. And we can offer a very basic health check, so a blood pressure reading, a BMI, which is your body mass index, which is basically your height against your weight, a calculation. And then for smokers, we can offer a carbon monoxide reading as well. But the priority, I suppose, is really about that conversation about all things kind of lifestyle habits, cancer prevention and early detection and what to do. We can talk to people about eligible people, I suppose, making sure that they are registered and up to date with their cancer screenings as well that are available.
And Sarah, as well, is booking required before you go, or does it cost anything?
No, it's absolutely free. It's free, but we don't take bookings mostly because it's quite opportunistic. Like, as I said, it's mostly people that are out, doing their shopping or whatnot. And the idea is that hopefully that we're going to be catching the people that aren't going to their GP, that haven't made that time or haven't found the opportunity to get to their GP. For some people, like, that could be years. So it's that kind of opportunistic thing that, you don't have to make that first step, that we're making it for you. We're coming to you in the community. That's kind of the idea behind it. But we don't take bookings simply because it doesn't really work well. Because again, as I said, it's that opportunistic time. So if somebody's coming in, rushing, doing their shopping, and they say, I'll be back at 2:00, and then they don't come back at 2:00, we're saving a space for them where somebody else might be waiting to come in. So it's first come, first serve, basically. It works the best way.
And Sarah, can people volunteer on the day?
Yeah, we actually have, we had a huge response. We kind of put it out when we have bookings made around the country. We put it out to our volunteers, and we put it up online that people can volunteers. So I think we've had a huge response already. So we have a good few volunteers for Tullamore, which is great, because some places we struggle to get volunteers. So we've had a huge response from the people in around Tullamore. So thanks very much to any volunteers listening. But you can't really sign up on the day, because we do have time slots, I suppose, just to make sure that there is fair coverage throughout the whole day. Because we're there from 9 to 6 the both days. Next week, the 12th and the 13th, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we have volunteers slotted for most of those times. But if anybody was interested in ever volunteering at another event or anywhere around the country, they can sign up to it on the website, www.cancer.ie.
And then I suppose just looking at it as a whole there over the last year, 2024, in terms of, I suppose, numbers, in terms of early detection and people getting checked up, compared to other years, has it improved in any way?
Yeah, definitely. It's been growing every year. It started off as kind of, I suppose, a pilot program in response to COVID. Because there was delays in, of course, with everything being shut down and whatnot, there was delays in screenings, there was delays in diagnostics, there was delays everywhere. And I suppose we're still feeling that impact at times. But the roadshow grew from strength to strength from that first response to COVID. So every year we've actually increased our days. The first year, I think we only did maybe 6 or 7 venues, and they were mostly around the Dublin area. But in the last year, 2024, we've covered all 4 provinces, and we got to, I think it was 22 counties that we covered specifically last year. Some counties it's harder to reach, and more rural counties, I suppose, because we don't have the space. We need a good bit of space in shopping centres because we have the private booths and that kind of thing. But yeah, and we've reached over 20,000 people in relation to, even if that's just coming along and taking up a leaflet or asking a question outside of the information stand, or it's somebody coming in with about, I think it's just over 2,500 or so actual health checks done in the last year as well, where people come in for their one-to-one nurse consults. So yeah, it's grown from strength to strength, and it has a huge response in the community, and people love to see us coming in, and I think it's really important, as well as a large national charity organisation, that people can see us out in the community giving back, that this is where their funding goes to. As a society, I think it's only about 3% of our funding comes from the government. 97% comes from public funding, and the likes of Daffodil Day and whatnot coming up now at the end of March. The roadshow is a reflection of where that money goes to, that it is going back out into the community and trying to help people out in their community. So I think it's really important, and everybody seems very happy to see us when we come along to whatever venue we're in.
Of course. And then as well, just looking at, obviously there has been a massive improvement in terms of cancer treatment over the last few years. Looking ahead, what's the overall picture?
Cancer treatment is always changing and always evolving, and is amazing. The survival rates for all cancers have drastically improved, I suppose, at varying rates depending on the cancer, but survival rates have improved for all cancers, and that's down to those improvements in treatment, kind of new advancements in different types of treatments. There's immunotherapies. It's not just your chemotherapy and your radiation anymore. There's so much more out there, which is fantastic. But it's also down to those early detection, and that's kind of where me and our team work as in terms of cancer awareness, that prevention and early detection as well. So early detection rates is where the power lies for people, I suppose. If for example, if we talk about maybe bowel cancer or colorectal cancer is what it's known as, if you're diagnosed at stage 1, where it hasn't spread anywhere else in the body, it's smaller, it's easier to treat, you have a 97% chance of survival in 5 years' time. So you're alive in 5 years' time, compared to if you're diagnosed at a later stage where it may have spread to other parts of the body. It's harder to treat. You have to have more invasive treatments and more invasion to your quality of life, I suppose. You have a far less chance. Now, the survival rates are still okay for some cancers, depending on the stage. But if we stay with the example of bowel cancer, you have only about 12% chance of survival in 5 years' time if it's diagnosed at a later stage. So that early detection piece is really where the power lies for people. Early detection saves lives is our it should be imprinted in my mind at this stage.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's one thing the listeners should take out of it is just getting yourself checked. There's no harm at all in just making sure. Yourself, was there any particular reason why you decided to become a nurse?
Always wanted to be a nurse, I suppose. As a kid, I looked after my granny when she was, elderly and whatnot. So I think that's where the caring aspect maybe came from. I have a sister nurse as well, so maybe it ran in the family. And I just like it. I love being able to. You meet new people every day, and it's nice to be able to give back and help people, I suppose, and feel like you're making a difference at times. It can be hard, particularly in the Irish healthcare system, but particularly this role, I think it's a really nice aspect of nursing and healthcare, that it's, that you're trying to get people from when they are healthy to stay healthy and remain healthy, as opposed to trying to treat illness, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Just as we close it off now, Sarah, I suppose final thing is where can people get information on, the Irish Cancer Society and ahead of next week?
All information, regardless of if it's about the roadshows or if you want to ask a specific question or anything like that about a cancer or any concerns that you might have, the first point to call is you can always come to the website, so www.cancer.ie. If you want to find out about the roadshows and where we're going to be or where we have been, you can just go to that website, and then up in the little search bar at the top, you can put in Your Health Matters Roadshow, and that will bring you to our own webpage. We also have the support line as well. So support line is run by cancer nurses Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. That number is 1800 200 700. So that is always really important there. I suppose, they get a lot of calls in for anything, even if it's just asking for advice, or you want to ask a question, or you've been at a doctor's appointment and you want just to talk it through again when you've had a little bit more time to think about things. You can ring into the nurses there on the support line, and they'd be happy to take your call. And as I said, the website as well. So just to confirm, I suppose next week we are in Tullamore, the Bridge Centre Shopping Centre, from 9 till 6 on next Wednesday and Thursday, the 12th and the 13th of March.
That's great, Sarah. Thanks for that valuable information there. And look, great chatting to you. And thanks for coming on, and all the best for the coming year.
Lovely. Thanks a million, Jack.
That was your first health and fitness episode of spring. Jack and I will be back with you next week. Joe Cooney is next with Country Roads. Take care of yourself, have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you soon.